So this is must-have classics. As you'll notice, it's kind of an old building. It was actually an old Ford dealership. It was built in 1932. It closed in 1987. My family bought it and started building cars from there. So to give you a little rundown of what all we have going on in here. So right here, we have a 1973 Ford Maverick Grabber. We'll be doing a full paint job on this, cleaning everything up. You will see some videos of this one. We already got started on it. Got it all stripped down to bare metal. It's always better to be safe on what we have going on than figure it out later. Next up, we have a 1952 MGTD. This one received a full frame-off restoration, and we're almost done with it. Won't be any videos on this one because it's so close, but you will see it get finished up in the video in the background, and we'll probably do a full breakdown once it's all done. So, next going on around here, we do have a few other vehicles laying around that are all personal vehicles. You'll see those in the background in nearly every video, and you'll see us get out and enjoy it every now and then too. This here is a 1954 Mercury Monterey. This is a two-owner car now. We've already started full restoration on it, frame off. You'll see it get done in a few videos. We'll get it going down the road for the first time, get it all painted, and get the interior done, and get it back on the road just like it deserves to be. This here is a 1968 Mustang GT Tribute. It's not a real GT, but that's what the customer wanted. We did a 302 blueprint engine in this one, got it all painted. You'll see it get finished up in the background of some of these other videos, and it'll be going out the door pretty soon and get back on the road. But the main attraction of these videos for this time around is this 1977 Super Scout 2. This one just came in yesterday. It's been sitting in a barn for the last 10 years. We went through, got it all cleaned up, got all the round scoop out of it, because it's just not fun to work around all that. And you'll be seeing us do a full restoration on this. We'll start today by getting it to run for the first time in 10 years. Just make sure everything's going good in the engine. And we'll get it going. So let's get started. So, first off, we just want to show everyone what we got going on in here. This is the original 345. We looked at, we scoped at it. It has been rebuilt already. You always just want to get it running, make sure. We've had some bad rebuilds come through here before. The owner said it has run before, so we make it run again. Biggest problem you'll see is pulling these spark plug wires off is that mice definitely like wires. So we'll go through, put new spark plug wires in it. We already checked the plugs, they look okay. We poured some oil down the cylinders yesterday just so everything's nice and lubricated up. But first off, we'll get this hood taken off, get it out of the way. These Scouts definitely don't have a lot of room and a lot of light coming in here. So we'll get it off, get these plug wires in, get a battery on it, see what it'll do. All right, so we already got the radiator out. We took the old radiator hoses off. We've got some rust going in for all the water was. We'll take care of that later on. We're not too worried about it right now. So next up, we're gonna go ahead and get these, well, what's left of these old spark plug wires off, get some brand new ones on there. We've already got everything checked out. Points condenser looks good. So we should be able to get pretty close to being ready to fire. Once we get the new plug wires in, we'll go through, get a battery on it, see if it will slowly turn over, get some oil pressure built up before we try to do a fire, and get going on it. Set of spark plug wires we bought turned out to be wrong. It's kind of part of it in the classic car game. So what we did is we had some other wires laying around. It's the beauty of having a shop like this is we've got parts everywhere. So I went ahead and put a complete set of spark plug wires in it. They're kind of mismatched right now, but we're not too worried about it. We're just trying to get to its first fire up. We only want it to run for 20-30 seconds. Just make sure there's no knocking, nothing like that, so we don't know that we don't have to take this motor and have it rebuilt. Future reference, we are going to go through and we're going to clean it up. We're going to re-gasket it. The intake and the valve covers are actually the wrong color right now, so we'll go through and fix all that. But next up, we're going to go ahead and get a battery on it, do some slow turnovers, see how it's going. Then we'll get the car, get some gas in the car, see what we got, see if we got fire, and hopefully we'll get it to run. We got a good battery on it. We went through, checked everything. We got it turned over. We're getting some oil pressure. So we're gonna go ahead and pour some gas in the carburetor, see if we can get some fire up, and hopefully we do, but let's see what we got. Go ahead. So it's been a couple of days since we got it running. We couldn't get it to run as long as we really liked it to. The gas lines are still pretty dirty. We didn't really want to get too much dirty stuff in this motor. Everything looks good. When we did have it running, there wasn't any major engine knobs, no lift or tap, nothing like that. So to continue off this video, we're going to go ahead and get the rest of it dismantled. We've got the glass company coming to pull out this windshield. We're going to go through and get the sides off, fender flares off, get it up on jack stands, get the wheels off. Now, some people want to know why we know it's a Super Scout, and this is part of the reason why we know. And if you look at these right here, we have certain rivets that are factory. No one would put rivets like that in one of these. And also, the fender flares are riveted on as well. And that's something that no one would ever do in an aftermarket sense. So this one, as I said before, we're going to go through, we're going back as much as we can original with it. It's going to be a nice showpiece when it's done. But we got to get it all taken apart before we do all that, so let's get started. Well, anytime you're working on these old cars, you never quite know what you're going to find, or you never really know what to expect. This one right here, we thought it was a Super Scout. We had been told it was. Everything showed that it was. We had factory style rivets, all that. But as I was pulling all these off here, these half doors off, we discovered that there's a door latch in here. International would have never put one of those in there if they knew it was going to be covered up from factory. So at that point, they kind of threw up one red flag, so we decided to go ahead and decode the VIN on it. When we decode the VIN, a Super Scout, we should have the fourth digit be a 5, so it'd be G005. This one right here is a G006. The 6 tells us it's actually just a normal Scout 2. However, talked to the customer, and we have everything to make it into a Super Sport clone. We're not going to try to market it as a real Super Scout, sorry, because we know it's not. But he's given it to his son. His son really liked what the Super Scouts look like. That's why he kind of was drawn to this one to begin with. So we're going to keep moving forward. A little setback on what we think it is, but that comes with it. You always find something new. When it came in, we hoped it was, and you never know what you're going to find. So we're going to keep on moving. We got the windshield out. We got the doors off. We've gotten the top starting to come apart. Next up, we'll get it up on the jack stands, get the wheels off, start pulling these flares off, start pulling the bumpers off. The goal is that have it pretty much torn down and have it ready to go off the frame. So we're going to keep on moving on it. One small setback, but still going to be a nice scout in the end. So now that I got it up in the air, got the flares off of it, got these headlights out of it, now we can go ahead and move on to get this grill out of it so we can then get the fenders off of it. Since this whole thing is coming off the frame, we want it all apart now. So on this one, show you here, so let's get this whole grill out. We've got all these bolts up through here. Go ahead and pull these hinges out. We've got bolts down up inside here and in here on both sides, and some along this edge here that we'll go ahead and pull out just for safe measure to separate this panel from the actual grill itself. Once we get that out, we can go through and pull all the bolts out from the fender, hopefully get the front fenders off. Someone at some point has tried to glue and seam seal this fender on, but don't know why they did that. We'll try to get all that broken loose to get it off. The front bumper, I would love to pull it off, but if you look here, it's been welded to the frame, and when they did that, someone decided to try to cut it off at some point. So we're just going to go ahead and leave it on now until we get the body off the frame. Deal with that a little bit closer afterwards, or I end up putting a different bumper on or something like that. We're going to go ahead and start pulling this grill off, and hopefully we'll get it done. Now that the grill's off, we're going to get these front fenders off. They're pretty simple to do. We've got bolts along this top edge, bolts along here, some bolts around here. The problem is that they've already had these fenders off before and they only put about half as much bolts as they're supposed to in it. Once we get the fenders off, we'll pretty much be done for now in the front. Start moving to the back, get the rear up in the air, get the rear fender flares off. Hopefully the rear bumper's not welded on, get it off, and get that roll bar out of it. Then we'll be getting pretty close to be able to get this thing, start getting it lifted off the frame. Let's get these fenders off first. Well, there we go. It's not as much of the Scout anymore. We've got the doors off, the half doors off, the hood's off, fenders are off. Next up, we'll go through and get get everything else done to get the body off the frame, but that'll be on the next episode. So if you like this episode, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and check us out on Instagram, Must Have Classics. And you never know, you get in touch with us, and you might be the next Must Have Classic here. See you next time. That shit outside. Oh my God. This is why you don't hop, because we're busy.